dreamers, welcome back. I have been testing out a whole bunch of Makeup Revolution products. This is a brand that I have stocked on Ulta for a little while, and I've never ordered anything because I really wanted to see it in person and see what I thought that it looked like and whether it would be something good to jump in and try to purchase. The prices are absolutely fantastic. They are drugstore prices. This is a UK brand, so it's not been available in stores until very recently. So I drove over to the closest town where we have an Ulta and picked up quite a few of the products. The section had been picked over a lot, so I know a lot of people are interested in these products. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to tell you about the products that I picked up, what I think that you should definitely go out and buy, and what I think that you should probably steer clear from. Okay, so I am going to start with, I'm going to start kind of on a note. Okay, so I picked up these two palettes. These are Ultra Blush palettes, and they were $10 a piece. The first one that I got is All About Bronzed, and this is a bronzer palette. It has 4 mattes, 2 shimmers, and 2 baked bronzers. Now these are very, very pretty. Let me give you just kind of some swatches here. Here is what the products look like from the bronzers. They are very, very nice. I really enjoy these. I think that they are soft. I think that they blend well. They are not really as powdery as I expected them to be. They don't have a ton of fallout. They blend quite nicely. My main complaint about this particular palette is I think that it's very one-dimensional. I don't think that there is a range of bronzers for you to do a multitude of things. There is sort of a very light shade here that if you're someone of my skin tone, that, you know, kind of a light to medium skin tone that you could use to set your makeup. It is a matte, but if you are a porcelain skin person, this is not going to work for you. These two shades actually worked okay for contour for me. The baked shades I had a bit of trouble with. I first could not get them to work at all. I wasn't getting product to pick up on my brush. I wasn't getting any kind of pigmentation out of them, but I took and scraped off the very top layer, and then I was able to use them, and they work just like the rest of the palette, and they're absolutely beautiful. So if you do decide to pick one of these up, I would scrape off the top of that. The one thing that I will caution you for is that if you have pink undertones to your skin, this is probably going to pull very warm for you on all of the shades. If you have a deeper skin tone, with more yellowy undertones, you are absolutely going to love this. And this color right here, which is just absolutely velvet, makes a beautiful highlighter for you darker skinned ladies. It is a little bit too intense, even for my skin tone. So if you have a deeper skin tone, then that would be an absolutely beautiful highlighter. So again, they do pull quite warm, so just something to consider. Another bronzer that I tried is the Vivid Baked Bronzer Powder in Golden Days. I liked this one a little bit better than I liked the palettes. I think it's a little bit softer. You do get a lot more product. And so you get 0.45 ounces for this, and in the palette you get 0.45 ounces. So with this one you have 8 shades, and it was $10. With this one you only have the one shade, and it was $6. But I do think that this pulled a little bit less warm for my skin tone. I liked this quite a lot for contouring, but it definitely has some shimmer to it. Once you blend it out, it doesn't nearly have the shimmer, so I was able to use this as a contour. But again, if you have very pink undertones to your skin, I think this will pull quite warm on you. So for me, the bronzers are kind of an I think that they are worth the price if you have the right skin tone for them. So the other smaller palette that I got, which was also $10, was a blush palette in Sugar and Spice. They did have another one that had brighter colors, but this is the one that I decided to pick up. Again, it has 8 different shades. There are fewer mattes in this particular range, and there were 2 baked blushes over at the end here. I did have the exact same problem with these baked blushes that I have with the baked bronzers. So I just scraped the top layer off, and I think that it works perfectly. Now, I did like this palette better than I liked the bronze palette, because I think that even though these are the same formula, I think that this had a much better range of colors for a variety of different skin tones. Although I will say, use a light hand, because these are very, very pigmented blushes. And these 2 on the ends will work great for highlighters. So see how much pigment there is to those? These pack a lot of punch, so you have to definitely use a light hand. And you can see, I'll show you, the one that I am wearing right now is one of these lighter shades, and it still looks like it has quite a bit of color to it, and I used a very light hand. So these are, I'm really enjoying these. Do I think that this is something that I will reach for all the time, every day? Probably not, but it is fun to have when I want something that's going to give me a much brighter look. Now, a blush that will be in my regular everyday rotation is one of the matte blushes. This is in the color Nude. And this is so velvety, and this is so beautiful, and it is so creamy, and my hand's getting a little bit sort of over stimulated here with colors. But you can see this is just a very, very pretty blush, and I think that it is fantastic for every day. There are a lot of different colors. I'm not sure how many, but there were quite a few different colors in the matte blush line. This is the one that just really pulled to me, and this one absolutely will be in my everyday, pulling it out all the time. This is, again, it's a different formula than the one in the palette. This is much more velvety, blends much more easily. It still has good pigmentation, but it's not kind of a scary amount of pigmentation. You can do a really beautiful, beautiful look with this blush. Highlighters. Girls, let me tell you, these highlighters are to die for. I picked up 3 different highlighters. They did not have any in the store when I was there, so I did order these online. I got Radiant Lights, Peach Lights, and Golden Lights. Radiant Lights is what I have on right now, and I would say it's the most neutral of the 2. It's just a really sort of pretty, just a lovely, lovely highlight. The back of my hand is kind of just pink from all the different swatches that I've done. And then Peach Lights is a really, really shimmery pinky peach. Let's see what that looks like. It has a lot of shimmer to it. If you are looking for mega highlight, that is a mega highlight. But at the same time, when I put it on with my fan brush, I can do a very light dusting, and I think that it looks, you know, very pretty, and you can do it for every day. Golden Lights is a very nice, warm, golden highlighter. I mean, just look at the punch that that packs. But it is shimmery. So this is the one. If you want that golden, like, pow highlight, Golden Lights is the one that you want to get. These were $6 a piece. You get 0.26 ounces in these, and I mean, how many of you actually finish a highlighter? So for $6, that is absolutely fantastic. Okay, let's move on to a product I was really surprised by. Usually when I pick up drugstore brow products, I'm disappointed. And I'm disappointed because they just don't work. The colors are way too warm. They don't match me at all, or they just don't work. This, and I want to say that this was $6 as well. I'll list all the prices of everything down below. hopefully I will remember to do that. But this is the Focus and Fix Eyebrow Shaping Kit, and this is in medium dark. They did have a lighter version as well. I'm not sure if they have a darker version, but I did not see it. So what you get is this is actually the only one they had in the store when I was there. But you get 3 brow colors, which range from a really sort of taupe that would work for blondes, to a medium brown, to this brown, which I thought would be very, very warm for my skin tone. I usually use the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo in Ebony. And let me grab that and I will show you. You can see that the way that the colors look is very, very different. This one looks very cool and this one seems to look very warm. This is what I have on my eyebrows right now. I do have on the darkest color. But I was really surprised. This just blended beautifully. It doesn't pull warm at all, not like the bronzers. And this wax that's in here is very creamy. It's easy to pick up. It does a fantastic job. And it did not make my eyebrows itch, which is one of the reasons why I usually don't use like a wax or something other than a powder on my eyebrows, because a lot of times they make me itch, which I think is one of the reasons why I am a powder brow product person. But this one did not make me itch. Very creamy, very easy to pull up. I've actually been using the little tiny brush that came with it for the wax, and it works fantastically. It also came with a little tiny thing of tweezers, which I actually haven't tried at all. But this was a shocking standout. Very well worth a look. Okay, eyeshadows. They only had one eyeshadow palette when I went to the store that wasn't completely picked over, and it was the Mermaids Forever. I really like the packaging on these. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to hold them up too much because with all my lights shining on it, because they're very shiny. The packaging is super, super cute, but I do notice that most of my palettes, just from being in my drawer and having them and using them for a couple of weeks, are really scratched up. I don't know how well you can see this, but I will try to get a picture of it and post it on my Instagram. So this is a 32 shadow palette. It was $15.99. These are a lot smaller than you're going to get with like a Morphe or you know, one of the other places that has these sort of, you know, big palettes with lots and lots of colors. You know, you can see it's about a little bit bigger than my, if you can see that, a little bit bigger than my thumb for the amount of shadow that you get. You get 0.7 ounces for the total palette. However, how many of you have bought a palette like this that has a ton of colors and you finished it? Nobody's raising their hand? Gosh, I'm shocked. I haven't either. So that's why I actually like that these are smaller. I like that you don't have quite as much product. I like that it is a much smaller palette. I'm going to be a lot more likely to reach for this than I'm going to be to reach for one of those gargantuan palettes. Now I do have the pop of green underneath my eyes today. This is the color I've been mostly using for my base. I will say that some of these colors, like this one and like a couple of these, don't quite pull for the foil exactly, or the shimmers exactly like that you think that they're going to, and they really don't change a lot if you try to foil them for the more glittery shades. So the lighter shades, kind of this L right here, I'm just kind of eh. All of these bright colors are absolutely gorgeous and stunning. Let me just grab a few of these here and show you. I mean, look at the pigmentation on these. And they blend quite easily. They blend a lot better than most of my drugstore eyeshadows. They don't blend quite as easily as some of my nicer, you know, high-end shadows like my Laura Mercier or some of my Tarte shadows, some of my Too Faced. They don't blend quite that easily, but if you use a light hand and you go in light and you build, these are going to work out fantastically for you. My really only complaint with this palette is that these deep shades are just not quite as dark as I would like them to be. They swatch very dark. I just dropped my towel on the floor. They swatch very dark, but when you put them on your eyes, they just don't show up quite as dark as I would like. I have this color in my outer corner. Today I have this color on my lower lash line. I have this color as my transition color. Like I said, I have this color all over, and I have this color on my lid. And then I've got this underneath my brow, which I was kind of, I think it was a little bit too shimmery. But I've really enjoyed the looks that I've come up with this palette. If you go over and check out my Instagram at dishwaterdreams, I posted several looks that I did with this palette if you want to go check those out. Okay, final products that I have from Makeup Revolution are lip products, and I picked up 3 different lip products. What I have on right now is I have on one of their lipsticks, and this is in Rebel with a Cause. Now, I will say that this really confused me because I expected the color to be the bottom, but the color is the top. Not that that makes a difference. But this is, I mean, it's just kind of what you would expect from a lipstick. It's very, very creamy, doesn't have anything tremendously special about it, except for I absolutely love the color. It wears very well. It's pretty comfortable. It is a tiny, I will say a tiny bit dry feeling once it kind of really dries down, but it doesn't dry down to a matte. It stays sort of a nice kind of gloss. It is what I have on my lips right now, and I have had this on for about half an hour, and I've been talking for almost all of that because I've been filming. So you can see that it lasts pretty well. I also got a Salvation Velvet Lacquer, and this is in Rebel, and this does dry down all the way to a matte. And I posted a picture on my Instagram, and if I remember, I will go grab it and throw it up here. But one thing that I absolutely love about this is when you put this on, you do need to use a lip liner. Use some, you know, a purple lip liner, or, you know, whatever is going to match the color of that matte lipstick. Use a lip liner or one of those clear ones to keep it from feathering. I didn't have any problem at all with it feathering when I put a lip liner on. It is very, very sticky when you first put it on. Give it 5 minutes and it will dry down to a complete matte. No transfer. None. I had absolutely no transfer on my coffee cup at all. None. And I did put that picture of it on my Instagram if you want to go and check it out because you don't believe me. But really, no transfer. Okay, so that is all of the Makeup Revolution products that I picked up. So just sort of a brief recap. The things that I think that you should run out and buy immediately, the absolute top of my list, are the highlighters, any color that you want. They're all fantastic. And these matte blushes. These are absolutely fantastic. Other products that I think that are really well worth the money are the brow kit and the velvet lacquer, the one that dries down to a matte. Completely and totally worth it. Absolutely favorites. I think that if you are looking for, you know, a lot of variety in your eyeshadow and you don't want to spend a lot of money, these palettes are great. I haven't tried any of their other eyeshadow palettes, so I can't attest to those, but they are a great affordable option. But, you know, at $16, if you wanted to spend a little bit more, you could get something high-end, or, you know, there are other really good things out there. So those are middle of the road for me. I definitely really enjoy them. So I'm just going to say it's middle of the road. Same thing with the lipstick and the gloss. I don't think that there's anything particularly that makes you know, these products really stand out from the crowd, but I think they are definitely worth picking up. Products that I might skip on, the blush palette and the bronzer palettes. The only reason that I'm going to say to skip on these is not because of the quality of the products, but because you really have to have the right skin tone to pull these off. If you have that yellow undertone to your skin tone, or you really like those warmer bronzers, absolutely pick up the bronzer palette because it is very, very nice. The blush palette, I would say pick it up if you have a deeper skin tone and you would like those brighter colors, or you just really like those super bright pops of blush, because these are great products. You just have to have the right skin tone to pull them off. So thank you guys so much for watching today. If you like these one product or one brand sort of multi-product reviews, don't forget to give me a like, and don't forget to subscribe, because I will have more of these coming up if you guys like this type of video. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.